So hi everybody, Erin here again today, and I wanted to talk about the 2 new stamps that are going to come online for Brutus Monroe on September 14th. They have a brand new artist, and his name is Chuck Carson, and he used to work for Disney. I think he still may do some stuff for them. He's worked on some various projects as an artist, and Christopher got him to be an exclusive designer for stamps. So these are 2 of the fun new stamps that we got for Halloween. There's been some projects already with this one. They're going to go up soon, or they haven't already, but I'm going to play with this one. So they're just adorable little stamps. I mean, look at this. This has got a scarecrow in it, and this Happiest Halloween, and this is Boo. And look at this cute little mummy, and it's got a selfie stick, and it's going, and it says spooky selfie and then smile. I mean, they're comical, they're funny, but they're still Halloween-y. They're not, they're cute is the bottom line. And they are exclusive designs. You're not going to see these anywhere else. It's not something similar. They're brand new designs because he's our in-house artist now. So what we have here is, and I demoed this on my box opening, is I want to talk a little bit more about the mixed media paper that Brutus has. This is all made by Canvas Corp, and that's some other stuff I pulled out from Canvas Corp as well. One of their cards and some of the burlap that we're going to use for the card. And these mixed media papers, you can do all kinds of stuff. It is all about texture, and so we've got some mistable papers here, we've got some cotton papers, we've got plain old cardstock, and then we've got some watercolor papers. And there's 24 in here. They're all 6x6, and there's 4 of each. So what I'm going to play with today is I'm going to play with one of these. This is like a cotton type of paper. I'm going to mist that, and then this is what I'm going to stamp on. This is just a solid cardstock, and then we are going to put the rest of them away. I'm going to put them away so I don't get them all gross and misty. First stage I'm going to do is I'm going to move all this stuff over, and I'm going to mist my background paper. So this is just a nice solid. I'm going to cut it down to size first, and here is my card. Now this is just a craft card, nothing super fancy about this. It does come with an envelope, and you can buy these at Canvas Corp. And I'm going to cut this down so it creates kind of a mat for the back of this paper. So I'm just going to kind of trim off a little bit right here. So the width of this card, this is a 5x7 card, and so I don't want to make this exactly 5. I think I'm going to go to 4, and that way it's, because it's 7, it'll be 1 inch less side to side all ways. So I'm going to make this a 6x4, and then I have a little bit of this lovely paper that I'm just going to kind of hold off to the side. What I'm going to do now is make sure everything is out of the way so I don't get it all gross and misty. So I'm going to take these 2 colors, and this one is Pumpkin Spice and this one is Phone Book. This is a Glimmer Mist by Tattered Angels, and this is also made by Tattered Angels but specifically made for Brutus Monroe. It's a chalk shimmer. It's a little bit of a different formula than any of the other 10 Tattered Angels paints out there right now. As with any paint, you want to shake it this way from side to side. I like banging it against my hand, and I am just going to kind of mist this up and have some fun playing with adding some of the color. And then same with this guy, I'm going to shake it from side to side and get all that lovely glimmer. And because this is chalk, you can see some of the chalk in the bottom. You want to mix that up, otherwise you're going to lose some of the integrity and some of the brilliance of why these mists are so cool. Now I'm going to speed this up, and I'm just going to kind of spray and add some color. So what I did is I went through and I sprayed as you saw, and then for this one I added splatters to get a splatter effect versus just spraying it, and then I painted some on because I didn't want to have this full out spray, and then I took just Kleenex, that's all I did, tissue, and just kind of rubbed it to give it this really kind of grungy effect. And you can really see the 2 colors on here. They've blended, they've kept separate, they've kind of added their own thing, and there is a nice little shimmer. But now this is nice, it's kind of wet, and notice it's not warping up. This is a very good quality paper, so it's not kind of warping. It's taking the ink really, really well, which is what we want. So we're going to let that kind of sit off to the side for a minute, and we are going to pull out paper. Now I want to make sure that I get this nice and clean. We are going to take our scarecrow, and we are going to stick it on our stamp block. And I'm also just going to get a measurement for this. So I want to cut, now this is 4, so I'm going to try and see if I can cut this down to be a 3x3. Just add a little 3x3 square. This is a very, very simple card. I'm not doing a whole lot of fun, you know, weird techniques. I'm going to start with a 3.5 by 3.5 because I do not want to shortchange myself and run out of room on my stamp. And yeah, I'm going to have to go 3.5 because if I go any narrower than that, my stamp's not going to work. So I want to keep it as a square. If you want to cut this out as a circle, more power to you. I am not in the mood. I'm going simple, simple, simple. So here's my 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. And basically it's going to line up like this. I'm going to have this here, and then I'm going to do the little word, and I'm going to create a cute little banner down here at the bottom. So since this is already 3.5, I'm going to cut this, oops, pop that back in there. I'm going to cut this guy down. I don't want it to be too, it's got to be thick enough. So I got to make it thick enough to stick the words. So Happiest Halloween. There we go. Right there. And I'm just eyeballing it. That's pretty good. Stop. So I'm going to do this stamp first, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it in black. So I'm actually going to stick my Happiest Halloween on this end, and then I'm going to ink this side, stamp, ink this side, and stamp, and speed it up. I'm going to make sure I clean this off, and I can definitely use my Brutus Monroe stamp cleaner spray and a little bit to clean that off. I'm just going to do a quickie show how that works. If you've got one of those stamp cleaner pads, by all means use them. Mine has flown the coop. I need some serious hunting to try and find it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spray a little bit on my tissue paper here, and then just wipe my stamp clean. Look how clean that looks. There's a couple little fuzz balls in here, but that's almost as clean as when they were brand new. And it's fabulous. This is like a non-toxic, safe for your skin, super easy. I need to stick my label on there. All right, so I'm going to take the Premium Chalk Ink Suede, and I'm just going to take a plain old water bottle. And I'm going to dab 1, 2, 3, just add a few little spots before it dries. Add some water, and bam, we have watercolors. Super simple. This is a non-stick mat, so just make sure your mat's nice and clean so it won't pick up any other colors that are under there. So just, you know, with a non-stick mat, stick it under your faucet, get it really clean, wipe it down, and you're good to go. So now I've got a light watercolor, and I'm just going to kind of go in, and I've let this dry for a little bit, and just double check it. Make sure it's not rubbing off on your finger, and I'm good to go. And I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color. Not much. I'm just going to kind of blend. Now, if you notice, this is the same ink as the detail ink, but it acts like a resist, so it's not going to blend. Notice the black is not blending with the ink color that's already there. So this is where Brutus Monroe's ink is so amazing, that it acts like a StazOn if you let it dry, but you can immediately add water to the ink and it turns into a like a watercolor. So it's got a whole lot more properties, and I'm going to come back and show you guys some of the other fun things that it can do as time goes on. This is just one of the first of many. So I'm just adding a little bit of color, and look at that. I added color to the edge. It's okay. I'm going to ink it up. So now, just to add some more color to the whole thing, I'm going to go through and just stress it and add ink color to the edge. It acts like a chalk ink, so, and I'm going to treat it as such. And because I smudged it, I'm really going to kind of get in there and get it all kinds of roughed up and inkied and have fun. Really kind of get it messy. All right, so I'm going to clean up this a little bit. Along with doing that, I'm also going to ink the edges of this guy just so they match. You know, and I like the idea when I make things messy because I always end up leaving smudge prints, and that's cool. Now, look how beautiful those blend together. Look at that, isn't that fun? Pretty cool. Amazing. Now, I probably could have gone a little bit, I could have gone down to the 3-inch on this card. But that's okay, it fits quite nicely. I also picked out some burlap. This burlap comes from Canvas Corp. I really like the feel of the burlap. You know, it's just a kind of grungy feel. The first thing I'm going to do, this is pretty much dry. It's not completely, but it's pretty darn close. Whoops, that just popped off. It was left in my bag tilted, and this is just Beacon 3-in-1 glue, and the little top just popped off. It sucks. It's okay. It'll work. So all I'm doing now, I'm going to put this back on so it doesn't completely dry out, is I'm going to cut down my burlap, and I'm going to end up trimming it up here in a minute. Just adding another fun layer. When you add layers, it really adds the depth with such ease. I mean, it's so simple to add another layer of paper, another layer of something, and it just makes everything kind of pop. All right, so let me double check. That looks good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fray this thing. It's okay if it's not perfectly fitting and parts of it are hiding under some of the cards here. The whole point is to add that burlappy feel, like Harvest. You know, a scarecrow is made sometimes of burlap bags, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. It's a nice neutral color, so it's not going to have issues. It's not clashing. I didn't use a really dark, deep color. I'm going for just nice, light autumn colors. Now, you could easily save these and use them for all kinds of cool stuff, but for right now, I'm just going to get rid of it. So now I've got this, and I'm just going to add in my little piece here, see how it looks. And I'm liking that. There we go. See, it's just a little something hiding in there. You still see the color from behind. Very simple. Yeah, I could probably trim this down just a tiny, tiny bit. See, I just trimmed it down a teeny bit. Now I got to go back in with my ink, which is perfectly fine. Just ink it up again. Add that color back in. Grunge it up. If you want to go in and mist these things too, by all means, but I'm kind of leaving where they are. Now here's the beauty of this. This acted like a chalk ink, right? But look how much it's dried. It's not blending or anything. So it's a fast drying chalk ink that acts like its own entity. It's not like any other ink out there, which is really cool. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and glue this down and speed it up. And there I go. Cute little Halloween card ready to go. I'm ready to give to somebody, grandma, grandpa, teacher, somebody like that. You know, really easy. All the cards from Canvas Core also do come with their own envelopes. That part's pretty simple as well. And it's done. So thanks for stopping by and checking out my fun new cards made with my new Brutus Monroe stamps. They're still on my stamp block right here. This one is the Scarecrow, and then there's also the really cute mummy. So please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.